Now, for civil servants of the Russian Federation, as you know, there is a serious, very serious problem. And for civil servants who want to survive and endure in the bureaucratic games, it is becoming increasingly difficult to find new forms of subservience and forms that are capable of pleasing the higher-ups. The task is indeed very challenging because even crawling on your belly must be done artistically and aesthetically without leaving any traces on the illustrious parquet floors in the illustrious offices of any secretions and snot. And a civil servant cannot afford to remain silent and keep a low profile because the entire Putin's vertical is already addicted to adoration and not receiving the usual dose of such adoration. Naturally, the vertical becomes rigid and sweeps the official off the nomenclature board. And so I watch and can be pleased because in this matter there are, albeit such very, very ambiguous, but serious successes, and they do exist. The director of the Tsarskoye Selo Museum Reserve, Madame Taratinova, wishes right in this Tsarskoye Selo to erect no more, no less, an analog of Westminster Abbey. And this analog of Westminster Abbey is supposed to receive in its graves the greatest people of modern times. Well, so that future generations of Russia's fools would have a place to weep, a place to be initiated as Orthodox pioneers. And by the greatest people, of course it means, well, both the Kremlin ghoul and all his criminal gang. Listen to what I have on my Telegram channel. What this lady is saying. Well, let's say it perfectly characterizes the bureaucratic class of today's Russia. However, let's note that this is the first clear call for Putin's corpse, for Bastrikin's corpse, for Volodin's corpse, and others. Quite an interesting and, as they say, timely line of thought. Although, of course, banks and Kunstkamera as a resting place, a Rostov resting place for these astonishing freaks, would be more logical than Tsarskoye Selo. It's surprising that my subscribers really like the idea of creating a new Westminster Abbey. Subscribers of the Nevzorov Telegram channel, however, they are all impatient. And they all insist that, well, actually, why delay? They should be buried alive. Moreover, tombs and graves should be planned in such a way that their inhabitants could visit each other and gather to share thoughts on the growing influence of Russia, on the greatness of the Russian world. Well, it must be said that indeed these thoughts are also most fitting in the grave, of course. It is precisely there that they will sound the freshest and most appropriate.